Well, ahoy mateys, we're jumping right into 7.7, which is all about solving inequalities using multiplication and division. So the first question that they pose for you here is, how are the inequalities 5x is less than 20 and 5x is greater than 20 related to the equation 5x equals 20? Well, the answer to that is you solve them all the same way. So it's the same method for solving inequalities with multiplication and division as it is equations. So to solve 5x equals 20, you would divide each side by 5 because that's the inverse operation of multiplying. And you would get x equals 4. You do the same thing when it's an inequality. So this should be straightforward. There is one tricky exception. So we're going to jump right into trying this one here. So solve x divided by 5 is less than or equal to 2. So right now, on some scratch paper or a whiteboard, solve this. Go for it. Good luck. All right, so hopefully you wrote it out. And then the inverse of dividing by 5 is multiplying by 5. So you undo division by multiplying each side by 5. And you end up getting x. These 5s will cancel out here. X is less than or equal to 10. Now, in terms of graphing this solution, which you're going to have to do, will this be an open or a closed circle? Yes, this will be a closed circle because this can include 10. So x is anything 10 or less. So we have a filled in circle on 10 because it can equal 10. And then we draw our dark arrow here to the left-hand side because it's also any number that is smaller than 10. And you can check this by plugging in a number over here, and you'll find out, oh, it works, which means this we shaded the arrow in the right direction. All right, now try to solve this one. 4n is greater than 32. So good luck. All right, so hopefully you, again, wrote it out. The inverse of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. So you want to divide each side by 4. The 4's here will cancel out, and you're left with n is greater than 8. So now when you graph this, will it be an open circle or a closed circle on 8? Yes, so this one, because n is greater than 8 and it cannot include 8, you're going to have an open circle on 8. Okay, but it could be like 8.1 or 8.4 or anything bigger than 8. It just can't be 8. So that's why the open circle on 8. And then the arrow is going to be shaded this direction because that's everything that is bigger than 8. Hopefully this is straightforward so far because now you got a bunch of them that you're going to practice. So the graphing I'll just discuss. I want you to solve these though. So solve x over 4 is greater than 2. Okay, hopefully you got x is greater than 8. You multiply each side by 4. Again, this will be an open circle, arrow shaded to the right. Second one, t divided by 2 is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, t is greater than or equal to 2. You multiply each side by 2, and that's your solution. It'll be a filled-in circle because t can equal 2, and then the arrow will go to the right direction because it's everything that is bigger than 2 as well. Try this one. N divided by 3 is less than or equal to 3. Okay, you multiply each side by 3, and you get n is less than or equal to 9. So filled in circle at 9, arrow to the left. 6f is less than 18. What's the solution for that one? Okay, that one you divide each side by 6, you get f is less than 3. Open circle on 3 because it's only less than 3, not including 3, and shaded to the left. 15b is greater than 90. Divide each side by 15, you get b is greater than 6. Open circle on 6, shaded to the right because it's everything bigger than 6. And the last one, 12y is less than or equal to 0. Ooh, tricky. Okay, divide each side by 12 and you get y is less than or equal to 0 still because 0 divided by anything is still 0. So it'll be filled in circle on 0 because it can equal 0 and then shaded to the left because it's everything less than or equal to 0. If you have any questions on the shading part or how to know if it's an open circle or a closed circle, or even just how to solve these, make sure to get help. Ask me for help. Ask Ms. Rude for help. Send me a question on email or Flipgrid. You're also going to have a couple of story problems. So this you're going to look at and be like, I don't get it. It's confusing. It's not that bad. We'll just break it down individually and solve this thing. So you can either get one-way bus tickets for $1.75 each bus ride, or you can get a 30-day bus pass, which is $42 for as many times as you want to ride the bus in 30 days. So we need to write and solve an inequality to find the least number of rides you must take for the 30-day pass to be at a better deal. So you might be like, I don't know even where to start. So here's where you start. You want to break it down. So the price of a one-way ride times the number of one-way rides is more than 42. That is when it's that's our breaking point, is the 42, because that's the bus pass. So we could say R, that's our number of one-way rides. That's this one right here. And we know the price is 175. So here's our inequality. 175R is greater than 42. Now that you know the inequality, I want you to try to solve the inequality. All right, so you're going to divide each side by 1.75, and 42 divided by 1.75 is 24. It is 24 rides. That's like the difference. So any more than 24 rides, and it's better just to get the bus pass. If it's less than 24 rides, then it's better to buy the one-way tickets. So you ride the bus an average of 20 times each month. Is the pass a better deal? No, the pass is not a better deal, because the cost of 20 one-way rides is less than 42 bucks. Okay, so here's a little bit of notes for you. And I also want to talk about the one exception that you're not going to see this year, but you'll see it next year. This method for multiplying and dividing is just like solving equations, with one exception. If you ever divide or multiply by a negative number, the alligator turns around. That's something we don't have to worry about yet, but you will have to keep that in mind. So for future reference, what we're doing for this whole lesson only works with positive division and multiplication. When you divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, you're going to have to turn the sign around. Okay, that's the one difference. Everything else is exactly the same as solving equations. If you need help, if you have any questions, make sure to ask me, email me, CMIS Rude, send me a Flipgrid question, use Google, rewatch videos. You know the deal. All right, good luck, and I will see you during our next live session. Arr!